The greatest opportunities now and in the future are still on the horizon. In fact, as promised, I wanted to give you three critically important investments that the members of the Elevation Group will be diving into here in the first few months of 2012. The most important investment of the past century was black gold or oil. The most important investment of the future is what the powerful and elite members of the world call blue gold, or as you and I commonly know it, fresh water. In 1995, the vice president of the World Bank said, "The wars of the next century will be about water." Recently, Egypt had to deal with what the Israeli news described as another water uprising caused by sharp price rises, while the King of Jordan has warned that water was the only issue over which his country would commit to war. Over the past few years, the wealthiest people in the world have been positioning themselves to own as much fresh water as they can. Oil billionaire T. Boone Pickens owns more water rights than any other individual in the U.S., and he's looking to control even more. Why? Because it's the single most important substance on the planet, and we are quickly running out. Less than 3% of the water on Earth is fresh water, and of that 3%, only 1/100th of a percent is easily accessible in lakes, rivers, or groundwater sources, and most of that water has been polluted beyond the point where it can safely be consumed in developing nations such as China and India. In the midst of a record-breaking drought in Texas this year, the town of Groesbeck, just outside Houston, officially ran out of water last week on December 6th. Their only solution was to build a 7-mile-long pipeline that would bring water over to their town from a nearby rock quarry. But this desperate measure will only bring in a 6-month supply. As 1 million new people who need to drink water and have food to eat are born around the world every 5 days. This story will only become more common when you consider that it takes 3 gallons of water to produce every gallon of gasoline, and 151 gallons of water to produce a single pound of wheat. Have you noticed the new label on the pump at your local gas station that says, "May contain up to 10% ethanol"? Well, get this. It takes a mind-boggling 2,500 gallons of water to produce a single gallon of ethanol. Fresh water is going to become the blue gold of my generation, which is why I will be interviewing the CEOs of the largest leading water rights investment firms over the next few months, and we'll be uncovering the biggest and best investment opportunities in the world when it comes to cutting-edge water filtration and conservation technologies. The bottom line is that you and your family will be on the inside track when it comes to the future of the single most valuable resource on the planet. The second biggest opportunity on the horizon has to do with the lifeblood of the global economic system, of our very way of life, energy. But it's getting harder and harder to find, and therefore more expensive. Soon it will be too expensive. Alternative options must be found and put into use quickly. But power sources like solar, wind, and geothermal don't work without subsidies from the government. They are horribly inefficient and therefore way too expensive. That's why today more than 99% of the world's electricity comes from coal, nuclear, natural gas, and hydroelectric dams. Coal and hydro, environmentally destructive. After the recent tragedy in Japan, nuclear is now too dangerous. In fact, the Chinese government has temporarily suspended approval of the new nuclear power projects it had in place, and Germany has put a hold on plans to extend the lives of its existing reactors. That leaves us with one alternative, and that is natural gas. Exxon's recently published Energy Outlook report says that natural gas will be the fastest growing energy source through the year 2030 thanks to rising electricity demand and the desire to reduce carbon emissions. With oil prices on the rise, natural gas is one of the most undervalued commodities on the planet. And yet natural gas is abundant, it's clean, it's politically popular, and the most practical solution to America's energy crisis. You know, it's hard to open a financial publication today without reading about the Fayetteville Shale in Arkansas, the Marcellus in Pennsylvania, or the huge Eagle Ford discovery in Texas. Having the opportunity to invest in natural gas today is like having the opportunity, in my opinion, to invest in oil when it was less than $10 a barrel. I believe that owning natural gas assets right now is one of the smartest investments you can make, which is why members of EVG are going to be transported into the booming industry of natural gas, which is now creating over 50 new millionaires every 30 days.